Okay, let's continue. Um, you know, Shalakia. Like I said, I was homeless, and now understand this. Now, overstand this, understand this. I was sinning and doing wicked deeds for years, so I was looking for help from anybody and was looking for the wrong source. So, that wasn't. Don't feel sorry for me. I know it probably this is like a sad story, but I don't feel sorry because that's the reason why I'm not who I am that right this moment. And I never went to go see a source. I thought that it'd be done and over with. And I thought that that things just fucked up things just happen. You take your good with your good and your bad with your bad, but you know but always having this solemn feeling and this low feeling like in depression, when things like that happen. And when the crazy things, especially this situation, being on the street, and next thing you know it, I'm like trying to find don't want to shower in the shelter, it's filthy. I'm around a gang of hood dudes and a gang of, turned up cats and homeless dudes, drug heads, addicts, I was living in downtown Los Angeles on Skid Row. You understand what I'm saying? Carrying my bag around, trying to find a place to shower, and I had my clipper bag everywhere, trying to trim, you know, my beard, um, all that, man, trying to keep myself clean and, you know, trying to be able to keep outfits okay so I can look for a job and, no ironing board, no iron. It was probably, and I was down there for months. It had to have been the worst time of my life, and I was drinking heavily, smoking, and I was hanging out with a few dudes from a different hoods, and a few different hoods, and we hung out with each other every day, and I was one. This is kind of was the turning point, as far as my correction, because I didn't listen. So, and this is, the chastisement for me, you know, and one day we went and got a fifth of no, excuse me, it was a fifth of Taka vodka, if y'all know what that is, cheap vodka. Um, Drinking on that, we had Mad Dog 2020, and we was drinking on 211. Some of the that'll get you caught up in the 187. It'll get, boy, I'm trying to tell you, this is like drinking gasoline, malt liquor, you know. Uh, and I was loaded beyond comprehension, and I was stumbling in the streets, bumping into people, talking shit, ready to square off with anybody, and this point came where it was nighttime, everybody's in the streets, and it's looking like Sodom and Gomorrah. You got transvestites, you know, transsexuals, men that look just young men that look just like women, with weaves in their hair, and you had flaming homosexuals, and gangbang dudes, and drug heads, and thoughts, and everybody is out like hanging out downtown like it was the thing, but it was like Sodom and Gomorrah. I promise you this. Music playing everywhere. Uh, it was crazy, and if you've ever seen downtown LA Skid Row, it looks like a third world country, just an abomination, just filth everywhere, and I'm belling around, stressed out, depressed, hustling here and there, trying to keep money in my pocket, trying to get a hand lent to me from whoever, like family member could do it, whatever friend, even a foe, and we was walking down the street, and after I'm chastening people, running up on them like whoop, talking crazy, they bowing down. I think that was when the Most High had enough of that. So I bump into this young lady, and they hustling on the side. They always be there. This they spot every day. Her and her dude, and they hood. And she's when I bump into her, I can't understand a word she's saying. It was sounding like Charlie Brown adult talk. Womp, 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 womp. And I turned around. I was like, fuck you, bitch. Excuse me. But that Shalaki, that's what I told her. And she was like, what? And started ranting and raving. And then her dude come out the corner like, what's happening? I'm talking to her. And I'm like, nigga, what's up? So I get ready to square off with him. I take off my sweater. And we get to the middle of the street. We square off. I'm getting ready to rush him. Bum rush him. You know, and try to two-piece him the best way I could because I'm already faded. And somebody cocked me with a clean one. You know what I'm saying? That side step that, you know, from behind hit him, a little sneak slip me. Boom! Good night. I go to sleep. Good night. Go to bed. And when I wake up, you know, I'm pushing myself off the ground. And I think, and if I'm not mistaken, and I ain't ashamed to say it, you know, I'm humble. I'm a humble dude. I ain't ashamed. I'm a man. I think I might have pissed on myself. But when I get up to square off with him again, and Lord knows how long I was out, and I pushed myself off the ground to square off with him, but I can't walk, you know, and because I twisted my ankle, and it was swollen. I couldn't even walk, and I just told old dude, you got this because I can't even stand up. And he just turned around and nothing further. Because everybody else was in the street. All his homies, they like, when I squared off with him and was getting ready to, everybody just started coming in the street. But it didn't make me no difference. And then when dude hit me from the blind side and I went out, they could have stomped me out or anything. And it could have been over. They could have shot a motherfucker. They could have stabbed me. Anything could have happened. And I think the Most High just had, you know, was the spirit was over them and over me where nothing else happened after that. So when I get up, dust myself off, I told him I can't walk. And he just kind of nodded his head and walked off. Everybody walked off like the situation never happened. And the dudes I was with didn't do nothing. I really don't expect them to, but you know, I was offended then, and I was pissed at them. So I stopped. That's when I stopped chilling with these dudes, and they kind of knew why. You know, I'm like, damn, y'all gonna let me sit there and be stranded like that? You know, y'all gonna let me this folks do that? Woo, woo, woo. But you know, it wasn't their fault. It was mine for even putting them in that situation because a couple of the cats I was with knew them dudes, and I think they didn't really want no funk, and you know, and it was my fault for even being with them, for them being with me, and even trying to put them in that situation. But I walked back to the shelter, limping back to the shelter, and I slept on it, you know. And when I got up that next morning, this was a Saturday. I got up the next morning, and I was getting ready to walk down the street, go get something to eat, limping, and then that night I had went to the hospital, Shalaki, and got some pain medicine and crutches, you know, and when I got back I had went to bed and slept on it, and then the next day, I had walked past this church, you know, on 7th and San Pedro, and when I got there, and I was about to just keep walking, but the music was pulling me in, you know, and I think the spirit was in there. And we know that all churches and these temples ain't, you know, what they made to be, and you got false prophets, and you got people in there who just want to make this money, but it wasn't about that. It was about some real evangelical people that was there, and they was trying to lift these homeless people up, their spirit, you know, because you can feel it in the spirit. And you know, wasn't no ties, you know, money baskets being passed around, none of that. It was pure, you know. And you know, when the Most High said it was 3 or more people, in that area, you know what I'm saying. You know, the Holy Spirit is in the atmosphere, it's in the room. So that's what I felt. And I went in there, got a Bible, you know, because they had Bibles everywhere. They was giving them out, and matter of fact, this is the Bible right here that I got. And I sat down for the service, and it felt like they was talking to me. The lesson was about me. I was crying and everything, and then from that point on, you know, was a awakening, a reckoning. I told the Most High that thank you for getting me through this, and I'll never be like this again. So my mission from that day forward, once I left that house, was to find a job and to get corrected and be right. And next thing you know it, the Most High, He felt it in the spirit, because next thing you know it, I had like 2 job offers. And for Inglewood Platinum Detail and the LA Unified School District. You know, because I had worked prior a few years ago for a school district out there in so I had experience at school district in San Bernardino County. And then but I turned those jobs down because my aunties, my father's sisters had found out where I was at, and they offered me the job to take care of my grandfather, and I felt like that was the best situation, which it was, because that was a turning point in my life. And and then I started working with them, and then I was going to work from downtown, and then they just wasn't having it. They didn't want me to go to live downtown to go to work, so they wanted me to stay with them. I stayed there, and we had a great time there. It was up and down a little bit sometimes, but it was a beautiful thing and a beautiful experience for me to be around my grandfather again, to take care of him in a different way. If you've ever been like a nurse, but being with my aunties and reminiscing and having good times and having meals together, and all that stuff. And then I got into culinary school. Went to Le Cordon Bleu, and everything started to change, and I was still a little heartbroken for not having my kids. I cried every day, but at that point I gave my children to the Most High, like Abraham. I sacrificed them. I didn't know. I washed my hands because I didn't want that spirit of depression on me. And ever since then, I just was grinding, and I was because at first my ex-wife didn't want me to come visit. Then the Most High opened that up and let me start. I started visiting them and spending the day with them, and things started to change, and then they started to change ever since then. And I haven't looked back, not one time. And I just got better and better. And even though after I got myself stable and was working and going to school, and then ended up for some years, and then meeting my current wife. I was still hanging a little bit, not with the homies or not hanging out, but still hanging out, and I was still kind of drinking and smoking. I backed up off that slowly, especially smoking. I backed all the way off of that. I don't do that at all, and then the drinking was a lot, but I slowed down on that, and then after that I just stopped doing it, like hard liquor and beer, and I just started drinking wine, and now and it started to become blissful, and things started to change, and now I just been getting harder and harder and harder into the scripture, and then the rest is history. You know what I mean? And I've been looking for the truth, and then the truth found me, and like my last video where I kind of elaborate on that and give some detailed explanation on how I got into the truth, and like I said, the rest is history. So that this is from me to you on correction, and that everything that's you going through, whether you go to jail, whether you get shot, stabbed, whether you're in a car accident, if something happens to you, knocked out, so to speak, or whatever, being in the wrong situation. You might be with the wrong woman. You've been being cheated on, because it's happened to me, and it is how I've done that to them, and you might be married to the wrong person. That's not for you, but your carnal thoughts and flesh are leading you into a hell, that the Most High doesn't want for you, and you're not asking the Most High for favor and guidance, and you're not asking for wisdom and understanding, so that's who you go to, And that's what I've been going to ever since. And I'm going to continue to go to him. And that's a promise. You understand what I'm saying? And I encourage you, brothers and sisters, to do the same. Because correction is a great thing. It's not a bad thing. And you know, being chastened. You know, we've all been through it. We've all go. You know, we're gonna continue to go through it. And I just accept it. Because you will come out shining like gold in the end, and that's a promise. No matter how old you are, young or old, accept your correction. You know, because it's coming from the Most High Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shah. It's coming from the Most High God, and He wants you to be cleansed. He wants you to be, He wants you to be gold, refined gold, and refined, put through the fire. You know, to come out winning at the end, man. You know, I haven't changed, you know, spiritually yet, but I'm still the same dude. You know what I mean? I'm still, I'm still who I am. You know, and that ain't gonna change because the Lord don't want you to change who you are. He wants you to change your spirit. You know, He wants you to change, you know what I'm saying, and become brand new. And you can still be you and become brand new. It's just being polished and cleaned up. That's all it is to it. You being refined. That ain't changing who you are. You know? So, that being said, you know, I would like to end this with prayer. Barakat the Yahweh. Barakat the Yahweh Shai, Barakat the Yahweh, Barakat the Yahweh Shai, Barakat the Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakwadash. Thanks to the apostles and the elders for speaking this truth. We thank you for, you know, the people falling into this truth that's trying to learn it. Yahweh Shai, cover them with your blood and keep them sanctified. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, Creator, Yahweh, thank you for waking me up this morning and giving me strength, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Thank you for giving me the right words to say this morning. You've been a great Father to me, a great power, a great strength, and I appreciate you and I love you wholeheartedly for that, and I worship your mighty name, Yahweh. In Yahweh Shai name I pray. Shalom. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it encourages you, you know, because that's what my mission is to encourage those and touch and have people, you know, have a knowledge and an understanding, and that hopefully my life has given you some type of, you know, understanding and will make you feel a certain way about your life and what's the necessary need and what you think you need to do to become a better you, better version of you, and ultimately love the Most High Yahweh like He loves you. All right, shalom.